there is money in the soil.
Yes.
Yeah. Hii uchafu iko na pesa.
Yes.
But then it's not a quick scheme to make money.
Yes. Not a...
You know, I love telling people the reality. Hello, my name is Tony Mudomi. This is my farm. I run a farm called Inspire Generation Farm, and we are located in Kisaju. Kisaju is in Kajiado County, and this is our farm. And what we normally do over here largely is onion farming. And so today we're going to talk about onion farming and some other things, you know, along that line.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're looking at onion from the seed to what we know now as onion on the table.
Yes.
So I think it all starts here. This is a nursery.
Yes.
So what exactly goes on here?
So basically, number one, for onions, you have to make sure that you get the right variety.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've had so many people text me and wanting to know about onion farming.
Yes.
Because they have been told that ukulima ya kitunguu iko na pesa.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And so people have, you know, this notion, oh, I've been told that I can get up to 15,000 kgs per acre.
Yes.
And hizo stories zote.
Yes.
But then what people don't know is what goes on the ground. Me, I normally say that farming is more practical than theory.
Yes.
Ukifika kwa shamba, it's another different ball game. So number one, you have to get the right variety. By that I mean the seeds that you're going to get.
Yes.
That is very important, and of course they vary.
Yes.
If you come to Kajiado and what is being done in let's say like Kipia or Nyeri, ni tofauti. Yeah, mostly like Kajiado, what does better is Neptune F1, African Red, and SV.
Yes.
And actually Kajiado is known for quality onions.
Yes.
Because majorly in Kajiado we use irrigation, mostly drip irrigation. So like the variety that we have here is Neptune F1.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Neptune F1. Yeah, and quite a number of kgs because our farm is a little bit big. We have our farm is about 8 acres.
Yes.
Yeah, and so if you are doing your math, 1 acre is supposed to take about 1.5 kgs. If you have a good germination, you can do 1 kg per acre.
Yes.
Okay, so normally in the nursery, normally in the nursery, the seedlings takes about 45 days.
Yes.
Yes, since the first day when you put them in the soil, and then up to 45 days.
Yes.
So and a lot happens in the nursery.
Yes.
You know, to make sure that you have a good seedling like this one. So number one, you get the right variety.
Yes.
You do the sowing, and you know, and you do your spraying, and you get to this point.
To this point.
Yes.
Now. So at this point, what sort of diseases and are you trying to spray against or to prevent?
Okay, so yes, that is very important. So number one, when you put your seeds on the soil, for us we used, well, I probably I'll talk about them. It's they have some good product. We used when I was doing the sowing of the seeds, nilitumia fertilizer inaitwa Yara Power.
Yes.
Na something called, it's a processed manure inaitwa Black Earth. So what I did, unachora line, then unaeka your fertilizer.
Yes.
You mix them. Actually, you're supposed to mix maybe 50 kgs of Yara Power with 1 kg of Black Earth.
Yes.
So depending with the number of kgs you're doing, then you can calculate the ratio.
Yes.
Yeah, so tukaeka Yara Power and Black Earth, and then tukafunika kidogo, and then tukaeka mbegu. So, and then we cover. You have to cover either using nyasi, the cotton sacks, or the net. And the best one is neti. Yeah, and the reason why unafunika, for conservation of moisture. If we keep under and you leave it like that, then the germination is going to be very poor. So that is the reason unaona our germination actually is about 95% plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you do that, unaeka mbegu and ukifunika unafunika very lightly.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you do too much of the you cover it too much, then it's going to have you're going to have a problem in germination.
Yes.
Because the onion seeds are so tiny. They're very small. So once you do that, you funika and then you start watering.
Yes.
Yeah. And you water. The seeds are supposed to take about the seeds are supposed to take about 7 to 10 days. So for us, and I normally advise that you can uncover them on the 10th day, because then all the seeds zitakuwa zime germinate. Yeah, on the 10th day.
Yeah.
So once you take out your whatever you have used to cover, so the next thing, immediately there is something we call drenching off. I've had people come to the farm wananiambia, Tony, nilikuwa nimeweka mbegu ya kupanda 5 acres.
Yes.
In 5 acres, we are talking about close to 6-7 kgs.
Yes.
And then they ended up doing just 1 acre. Because there is something we call dumping off. So dangerous. And maybe I can show you.
Yes.
So dumping off, so mbegu ina germinate very well, but then they start dying kidogo kidogo. So you see this part over here, there was seedlings of the same population like over here.
Yes.
But then ikashikwa na hiyo dumping off.
Dumping off, yes.
And this is what happened. So you can imagine if you have a nursery and then you have this dumping off,
yes,
like this. Yeah, you end up planting even a half an acre.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is why you need to drench off.
Yes.
You can either treat your soil before you put in the seeds, or you do the drenching off after germination. Okay.
Yes.
And when you're doing drenching off, you're drenching off against a disease that is in the soil. So you're not treating something from the top.
Yes.
You're treating from the inside the soil.
Yes.
And for our case, we used a chemical called Irrigation Pro, which is very effective. So the first day after we uncovered, we did the drenching off. And actually we made a mistake. I love talking about the positive and negative part, because this is a journey.
Yes.
We learn.
True.
So when we took off the nets, I didn't know how we are supposed to spray.
Yes.
So we came with my guys and tukapiga ndawa juju. Yeah, little did I know, when my agronomist came to the farm, he told me, no, that's not how you're supposed to do.
Yes.
You're supposed to spray drip line by drip line.
Yes.
And slowly. It's like you're watering, because you're treating something that is inside the soil.
Yes.
Yeah. And then number 2, you also have to control water. Yeah, after germination, you have to control water.
Yes.
For the first 2 weeks. Those are the most delicate part.
Yes.
Yeah, once the seedlings start getting the second leaf, then you are out of danger. So we sprayed the first day, and then we have a program. We were doing 2 sprays per week. Yeah, so the first day we did Irrigation Pro. The second spray we were doing that Irrigation Pro, and then a pesticide called Confido, and then also we were doing a foliar. A foliar, you can do a foliar of your choice depending, with whoever is guiding you.
Yes.
Yeah, because mostly they advise based on what has worked for somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the program we had. We were spraying 2 times a week, and there was no compromise on that. Yeah, and mostly you're fighting against pesticide, and then you're fighting against fungicide.
Okay.
But the most delicate part is the
fungicide.
Yeah, the most delicate part is the first 2 weeks. You're out of that the first 2 weeks, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen you. Now I want us to proceed to the main farm. Now this is a nursery.
Yes.
Just in case the viewer is wondering, you said 8 acres. This is a nursery, and currently, as we are talking, there are people on the process of transplanting.
Yes.
Half of the nursery is empty.
Yes.
We're in the process of transplanting to the main farm.
Yes, yes.
Now, on the other side, I've seen you've done some coriander, which is done very, very well, and it's huge.
Yes, yes.
It's a huge plot of land with coriander. Dania.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these things, the coriander is a quick growing, quick germinating, quick
Yeah.
maturing crop. So how is this in terms of even the market reception and such?
So as I was telling you, for me, I was not, it's not something that I had planned.
Yes.
But as you grow as a farmer, it's going to diversify. It's just like any other business.
Yes.
And when you get to interact with the customers, and especially the people who come to the farm, that's when you know some of the things that you need to grow. Even as I do onion in large scale.
Yes.
Then I also need to take care of other people and the customers or the players in the market,
Yes.
in the farming market. So we did Dania over here. This coriander, and normally it takes 45 days to mature. Actually, you can even start harvesting from day number 5. Yeah. The problem with it's good. The cost of production of Dania, it's very cheap.
It's very low, yeah?
Yeah, it's very low. But then the market is so volatile. Yeah, you can have Dania going at 100 shillings per kg in the morning, and then in the next 2-3 hours it goes down up to 50 shillings per kg.
Yes.
So that's what happens. And as I was telling you, I've also learned that you have to, it's good to know the market. Yes. And when the customers started coming, then telling me, Tony, next time don't do quite a huge place like this at the same time.
Yes.
Have them, split them, like do one block per, maybe do one block, then in the next 2 weeks do another block, in the next 2 weeks do another block, so that by the time they start taking the first block out, you start selling it to them, and then by 2 weeks washamaliza, and then you go to the next block. Generally in farming, the fact is farming, there is money in the soil.
Yes.
Yeah. Hii uchafu iko na pesa.
Yes.
But then it's not a quick scheme to make money.
Yes. Not a...
I love telling people the reality. I've had so many people, they call me, hey, Tony, how are you doing? How many kgs can you get in a neck of onion?
Yes.
Or maybe coriander? And from that point, you know what this person is thinking. Yeah, actually, like 3 weeks ago, a kg of Dania was 120. But right now, we are selling at 40-50.
Wow.
So, what happens if somebody has that kind of mentality, they come, you do the first season, then you don't make money, you give up. Unaenda ukisema pesa, hakuna pesa kwa ukulima. Yeah. And more especially in the onion. Saizi people I tell you, people are crazy about onion. There's a lot of money in onion farming. So if I can do an acre, get 15,000 kgs and sell 100, that's 1.5 million. Yes. And that person in his head is already a millionaire.
Yes.
But then when you get to ground, there is so much goes to you to get to that 15,000 kgs.
Yes.
Yeah. And probably at some point we will talk about the cost.
Yes.
Because people think, people have this notion that farming is cheap. And the reason why they have this notion is because farming has always been done by our grandfathers, our parents.
Yes.
The old school farming. And that's why you see very few young people you see, in farming.
Yes.
Because they have this notion that that is something for the whole people. It doesn't take a lot. They are, wanafanya mahindi pale, maharawe. That's what they know.
The ground.
Yeah. But then when you come to the ground, right now we are talking about commercial farming.
Yes.
It's, what makes you a good farmer is the consistency. The persistency, and you being patient.
Yes.
Yeah, those seasoned farmers, some of them started farming 10-20 years ago.
Yes.
You don't expect maybe to start farming today, and in the next 1 year you are in the same level as with them.
Yes.
It doesn't happen like that. It takes that persistency. You have to be very consistent, and then you have to be very patient. It's not a quick scheme to make money.
Let's proceed to the other side.
Yeah.
And see how they are doing with the transplanting.
Sure.
Fantastic. So what exactly is happening today here?
We are doing the transplanting.
Yes.
Okay, actually we started on Monday.
Yes.
Today we're in day number 3.
Yes.
And we're planning to do the same up to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So after 45 days in the nursery, the seedlings then are transplanted over here. And they're gonna take about 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, depending with the variety of the crop that you're doing, or the seedlings that you're doing.
Yes.
But most of them take about 3 months.
Yes.
So about the end of September, first week of October, we should be in the market.
Yes.
So, you know, I normally talk about, I discourage telephone farming.
Yes.
Because then, if you do telephone farming, then there is, I can tell you, it's going to be hard on you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be on the ground.
True.
Yeah. So, like you see, with all these people, actually, this is what makes me happy. You know, beside making money, because you're creating jobs for other people.
True.
You know, all these ladies, and they are doing transplanting, and they know at the end of the day they will get something, you know, to feed for their families, to pay school fees for their children.
Bread on the table.
Yeah, that was
Tony,
makes me happy.
I'm looking at this now.
Yeah.
If you add that to the fact that all this is irrigated, and this is drip. Drip is not also not a cheap method of irrigating.
Yes.
So if you're, for instance, trying to farm on an acre, what would be the approximate costs? I know it might differ from area to area.
Yes.
But in your scenario, what would be the cost for an acre?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Yes.
Of course, as you said, it depends with the region.
Yes.
You know, where you're doing your farming, and with the form of irrigation that you're using, and also it might be your own land or maybe a leased land, so the cost can vary.
Yes.
If it's your own place, then of course maybe your cost is going to go down.
Yes.
But mostly in Kajiado, this is the form of irrigation that we use, drip irrigation. And for you to set the drips for 1 acre, depending on the quality, because the quality also matters of the materials that you're going to use. Like over here, I think you've seen something there.
Yes.
The blue stuff over here.
Yes.
This controls water.
Yes.
So if I happen to open this, it's going to water this block up to the other blue stuff like this.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a 2-inch pipe over here. That is the main pipe. Then we have a sub pipe, and then sub pipe, the drips takes the water from the sub pipe. Okay. And the reason why we have 2-inch, 2-inch brings a lot of water. So the pressure is good. So if I open this, this water over here, it's going to feed, the water is going to be, well distributed. So the setting of an acre, drip for an acre, you need about anything between 150,000 to 250,000, depending with the quality.
The quality of the drip, yes.
Per acre.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's what, when I get so many texts, and when you tell them, about the installation of this, and then they shy off because somebody thinks, it's cheap. It's not.
It's not.
So the cost of this, and then you go to the seeds.
So let me interject a quick question.
Yeah.
So I've set up an acre drip worth 150 to 250,000.
Yes.
So how long is that system gonna last?
Yeah, I mean, this one, this can last up to 10 years plus.
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
The drips, probably, they can take about 3 years before you start replacing. At times you have some issues with them. Maybe some of them are blocking, because at times, the borehole water, most of the time have a little bit of salt.
Yes.
And what salt does, it can block zile shimo zenye zinatoa maji.
Yes.
Yeah, but the drips, 3 years plus before you start maybe replacing moja pale.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a one-off cost. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
the seedlings now.
So the seeds, mostly the hybrid seed, the average cost is about 42,000.
Okay.
Per kg.
Per kilo.
Yes.
So an acre you need
yes, for an acre of onion you need 1.5 kgs. Yes. And the reason why we include the 0.5 kg is to, in case you have, things like dumping off. But if you have a good germination, even 1 kg can do for an acre.
Yes.
Because right now for our case we have very good germination, so we might have some seedlings left. Yes.
So that is 40,000 plus half.
That's about 60,000.
60,000, yes.
60,000 for the seeds to
Yes.
do 1 acre. Yeah.
So you're looking at land preparation and
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah. So the labor depend with what they're doing. Like right now, what they're doing, I'm not paying them per day.
Yes.
Because if you pay them per day, we're gonna take a month planting, doing the transplanting in this place. So we pay them per bed. Yeah, we pay them per bed, and mostly at that meter bed, it's about like 150 shillings per bed.
Yes.
So over there, it's your effort, but even as they, look at the effort, we have to make sure that they do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing, we have the cost of water.
Yes.
Yeah, the raising and raking of the beds. Yeah, so those raising you pay per bed too. The raking you pay per bed too. About the same price, 150. Raking about 8 bob per bed.
Yes.
And then the water we pay per cubic meter.
Yes.
So cubic meter, I think it's about 1,000 liters.
Yes.
So majorly on this place, they charge anything on the lower side 50, depending if somebody has solar, then it can be a little bit cheap. But if you're using electricity from Kenya Power, it can be a little bit high, about between to the tunes of 60 to 80.
Yes.
I can give that range per cubic meter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're in total for an acre, we're looking at about how many beds?
So 1 acre, actually that's what we use to measure.
Yes.
So an acre can have between 80 to 84, 85 bends.
Yes.
30 meters long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So-
so we do maths per bed.
Yeah,
You say the
don't matter.
150
Yeah, you see 150
for
times 80.
transplanting
Yeah.
plus 80 plus another
Actually,
150.
you start from raising the bed.
Raising the bed.
If it's a new land,
Yeah.
then you have to include the cost of plowing.
Yes.
Using the tractor,
Yes.
actually 2 times. And then you come on making the beds, you have to use manure,
Yes.
goat or cow manure.
Yes.
And then after that, then they do the raking, and then after they do the raking, then you have to include all those costs, and then the cost of the plumbing. So in short, especially in this area, we are talking the initial investment maybe for an acre, you're talking about 500,000.
1 acre.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. From the land preparation, the seeds, the fertilizers, the spraying, and all those stuff.
Yes.
You need about 500,000 plus. Actually, up to a maximum of 700,000, depending on the, because at times if you're a new farmer, there are some unseen cost,
Yes.
things that you don't see.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not a cheap thing. It's quite expensive, so you need to be very serious.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're putting that kind of money in that project,
Yes.
you need to be very serious.
So how do I recover my 500,000 in this 1 acre?
So that's why when we were having a conversation, I told you, like right now our focus is production.
Yes.
Well, of course, we've already done, our first
The
project.
market
This is our
survey,
first
yes.
project. We know the market.
Yes.
So our main goal is production.
Yes.
So let's say if I get 15,000 per 15,000 kgs, which is achievable, but then there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yes.
If you get 15,000, even if you're selling, let's say on the lower side you sell maybe like about 70 or 80 per kg
Yes.
of onion, that's about 840,000.
Yes.
So if you spend, let's say 600,000, you see you've made
There's
made something.
There's something for you.
So actually for me, what I normally tell people, the first investment is not about making money.
Yes.
Just make sure that you recover what you've invested.
Yes.
So if you recover what you invest, and then you're sure you are in business.
Wow.
Yeah, because the next project, then the cost of production goes down.
Yeah,
so even if
land
you are
preparation, everything.
Yeah. So even if you were to get on the second project, even if you were to get the same tonnage
Yes.
as of the the first project, you'll be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need that. That's where the persistence now comes in,
Yes.
because you need the first season to cover the costs, the
Yes.
second and the third, and hopefully if you continue,
Yeah.
now it begins to make sense.
Yeah,
Now, let me ask you, because you know, it's 500,000, whichever way you look at it, it's a huge investment.
Yeah.
So I heard you mention some involvement of professionals like an agronomist and such.
Yeah.
So how important is it, even if sometimes you watch such things on YouTube and you do your Google research and you think and you can get into your head, you think, it's kitungu, I can just plant, I can try it. So just walk us through the process of involving the necessary professionals. Yes.
Yeah, I think that is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because you know what people do, they wanaambua, kitungu as iko na pesa.
Yes, yes.
And then you jump into it with no information, with no agronomist. And there's a saying what tunasema kwa ukulima, unapanda pesa kwa mchanga, inaweza kataa kutoka.
Yes.
Yeah? And it's a good business, but you can easily lose your money very quickly. Because let's say you've put about 500,000 700,000 in 1 acre.
Yes.
And then you fail to recover. It's going to be very difficult for you.
Yes.
Yeah? So it's good to get the right people. Yeah? Find farmers who have done it.
Yes.
Find agronomist, and not just an agronomist. The agronomists who are just good in kwa vitabu.
Yes.
If you get an agronomist who has done farming, then that's good. And this is where he point in akujia, like it's good to know where you're farming. When you are talking about commercial farming, it's not just farming.
Yes.
Especially when it is your first time to farm. When you come to Kajiado, yes, leasing land is expensive.
Yes.
But then the market is close. You have to look at the proximity to the market.
Yes.
Let's say you go and get a land in some place that is very interior. The road are so bad.
Yes.
And you get maybe 5 acres or let's say 1 acre. Maybe that's what you can get.
Yes.
It's going to be very difficult to convince an agronomist to come to that place.
Yes.
And then if they have to come, you have to pay them a lot of money. Yeah?
Yes.
And then let's say I give a case scenario of the season that imepita.
Yes.
It's a lot of rains. Barabara zikaharibika. That's when broker anakuja kwa shamba anakuambia atanua kitunguu at 40 shillings per kg. And you don't have anything that you can do.
Wow.
Because they have looked at the place, wakaangalia there is no way utatoa hiyo kitunguu kwa shamba.
Yeah. Huwezi fikisha market.
So at that point,
you're probably even new in the market. So
yes.
You don't know the ins and outs.
Kabisa.
So the other thing, Tony, is the post-harvest losses and all that. So how do you handle, once you have harvest the onion? Yeah. What is the way forward now from there? There is a market, but in between the market, what happens?
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying. If it's your first investment, please make sure that you're close to the market. You don't just put your money in any place. Yeah, make sure you're close to the market, get that experience, and then once you get that experience, you can go to Oloitokitok and so that places and get your farm there, because then you have experience. Yeah. So unapata mostly people have had kuna pesa hapa, and then anaenda anatafuta shamba huko interior, and then broker anakuja anakugonga huko vibaya sana. And they really don't care. Yeah. Yeah. So, and there is no way we can take them out of the chain. Yeah. So onions, and then you have to know what you're planting. It's not just, umeona there is a jirani hapa kuna pilipili. Those are things that you plant if you have already market. You just wake up and plant pilipili.
Because that you've seen your neighbor is doing well in it.
So you have to know the market. Vitu kama onions and tomatoes, the consumption is always there. Actually, what happens, like when we do the harvesting, we have the brokers, they'll come to the farm, we'll agree on the prices, and then they'll take everything from the farm. I didn't take anything to the market. Walikuja, wakanua kila kitu, tukatoa kitunguu, and wakaenda na kitunguu. Nikauzia, but there's something they call farm gate price. It depends with, the market. I don't have a control of that. That's why I was saying, the only thing that I have the control of is the production. Yeah, if my production is good, the quality is good, then of course I'll get a good price. Okay.
Tony, let me ask you a question, because you're also developing in this sector. There's onion, even though we know it the way we know it, ya kukaranga chakula,
Yeah.
You know very well uko nje, it is used for more than one purpose.
Yeah.
You can do, there's potential for value addition
Exactly.
in the onion sector.
Yeah.
What is your view on in regards to value addition in this particular crop that you're farming?
I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but I think something has to be done. Yeah, because right now, you know, we are talking about, you know, even the little manufacturing country of companies that we have in Kenya right now, they are running away, you know.
Yes, true.
Because then the cost of
that will be a cottage industry, which is highly right now even getting the certificates.
Yeah, it becomes a problem.
And all that is,
the cost of those materials.
So it's something that you would want to get into.
I mean, it is, because then you can control the, because like, let's say for the people doing like chili, you know, you do chili over here, it goes to the UK, it gets processed, then they bring it back over here with more than 4 times the price that you sold them.
True.
Yeah. So it's something that you know, we would love to, you know, to do.
Yes.
But then we have to have systems that can enable us to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot to learn in farming. Farming. We can share, you know, that, you know, in one video.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn. But what I can say, one thing that I'm very sure of, you know, it's something that I've done my own research, that farming has money.
Yes.
There is money in the soil.
Yes.
Yeah, and probably if I can give an example, that you see most of our politicians, 99% of them are farmers. They don't want to tell us.
Yes.
So what is there is, I would encourage young people to learn, get the information, then get to the ground. Okay? If maybe you're working, you can start on a small scale farming as you look for a way to do it full time.
Yes.
So for me, this is what I do. This is my office. I have to come here every day. And I think that has helped me so much, because I know almost every details that goes on to this farm. If I give them a particular chemical, I know where that chemical is supposed to spray yani inafaa ifike mpaka wapi.
Yes.
So ikipungua, itakuwa ni shida. Itabidi tuongee na jamaa zangu.
Yes.
So that has helped me so much. I mean, reduce cost, because I only call my agronomist or some other few farmers on something that I haven't in mara yangu ya kwanza kuona.
Yes.
So there's that, you know, the consistency, the persistency, and, you know, patience kwa ukulima. It's not a quick scheme to make cash, you know, for us as young people. And that notion, farming being of the whole folks, you know, it's not. We can also do it.